Hello and welcome to another Dynamic CCTV technical video. Today we're going to take a look at Hikvision's latest 12 megapixel fisheye camera, the DS2CD63C5G0-I, of which there's a VS and an IS model available. VS being for an external IP rated application, outdoor use, and the IS being for internal use only, with both variants currently available. It's a 12 megapixel resolution unit which can be adjusted up or down to various other resolution options. It's got a 360 degree field of view, 180 degree by 180 degree. It's also equipped with an Immervision manufactured lens, which is one of the main focal points of this unit. Immervision being a recognised manufacturer of lenses for wide angle video solutions. It uses advanced panomorph optics within the lens, specially manufactured to produce wall-to-wall clarity and also eliminating areas of distortion, which can sometimes be seen on lesser wide angle lenses, particularly in the corners. The Immervision stamp obviously being on this unit ensures that you will get the best possible viewing experience from the camera. It also ensures that when using the dewarping function you also get the best possible image quality. If you're not sure what the dewarping function is, it's a facility within the unit also known as a virtual PTZ, which allows you to interrogate the native fisheye image by moving around it at closer range. Gives a more natural aspect ratio as you do that. It also allows you to treat the full native unit as a little bit like a PTZ, where you can move around, get a closer look at objects within the field of view, and also a more natural sort of aspect ratio. Quality of the lens optics is a massive importance in order to obtain clear, crisp images, particularly in the corners and across the whole field of view, and it can certainly be achieved with this unit, which obviously, as I said, is equipped with the Immervision technology. The unit has 15 meters infrared, got a microphone and a speaker for two-way audio. On the fly lead we can see we've got network PoE connection for data and power. We've also got audio in and audio out, which will allow you to connect more powerful microphone or more powerful speaker or horn speaker if required, if you wish to circumvent the onboard microphone and speaker. It's got an alarm input and alarm output. The relay output can be operated under linkage for any of the pre-programmed event triggering. It's also got a 12 volt DC connection should you wish to power the unit off a separate power supply. This particular unit is part of the Deepinview range cameras by Hikvision, which incorporate human detection, or this unit incorporates human detection recognition, and that technology is used by some of the unit's counting features, which we'll go into later in this video. It's also used by the camera's VCA smart events, such as line crossing and intrusion detection, of which there are 6 different behaviour analysis options available. Counting features which can be used or made use of particularly in retail environments include people counting, where you can count the amount of people entering and exiting a location, again useful for retail environments, also establishments where you need to keep a close count of how many people are in the building. The Heatmap technology, again, it builds a heat map overview of the most active areas or people active areas within the image, where people spend more time maybe browsing, and also the amount of people that might pass through a particular area of the image as well. And there's also a new useful feature called intersection analysis, and that allows you to basically keep an eye on how many people pass through a certain area of a retail environment and which direction they may take as well. And that can, again, in retail environments, enable you to see where the most popular parts of the shopping store might be. Plan your marketing around where you think the more popular areas of the store are. Some large shopping or retail environments might have intersections that can give 5 or 6 different directions, so this enables you to keep a close eye where people are coming and going. It's got an onboard SD card of up to 256 gig for holding video and also counting statistics as well. So what we'll do now is we'll take a look at the front end of the camera and demonstrate some of the dewarping options. We'll also take a look at how to set up the counting options and also demonstrate how to interrogate statistics from those counting options from the front end of the camera and also the back end VMS. Okay, now as you can see, we've got the fisheye now set up in our training room. You can see they've got a good overview of the full area. Got me in the corner there, currently viewing it on its web front end screen. So what we'll do initially is just take a look at the virtual PTZ options. On the left hand side from the web browser of the camera, you've got 2 modes, a software and a hardware mode. Each one of the modes is capable of displaying various different screen options, which include virtual PTZs and also panoramic views. Got your main fisheye option there, top left hand corner, which is a big circle. That's your native image, as we can see on the screen now. So we've got software and hardware. The software basically does it from the web front end. Whatever virtual PTZ interrogating you do is done from the web front end as you're using the platform. The hardware option is slightly different. It allows you to select various virtual PTZ streams in a similar area, but unlike the software mode, what the hardware mode does is it actually adds the virtual PTZ streams as additional streams from the camera. These additional screens here will become additional streams from the camera, so the main fisheye will be stream 1 and then your virtual PTZ streams will be streams 2, 3 and 4, so in a sense giving you additional streams from the camera. It does take up additional processing power in order for the camera to do that, and it also reduces the native fisheye resolution as well, so bear that in mind if you are going to set the hardware mode and the virtual PTZs at the bottom there. Obviously just for interrogation purposes I prefer to use the software mode, but you can also use the virtual PTZ functions from the back end NVR and also your 4200 VMS and your Hik VMS as well, which you can do from the live and the playback image. So not generally a necessity to have a virtual PTZ stream permanently streaming from your camera, which will increase bandwidth and also take up an extra channel on your NVR. So if we select a couple of the options down here, main fisheye and 3 virtual PTZ options, which is quite a good one to use, you can click on each window, an outline colour of what that represents on your main fisheye here. So this is a green zone, so we can move around, interrogate the main fisheye image, and obviously you can see on the main window the green box moving around as we move around the image, so you know exactly where you are on the native fisheye image. And it's this use that does highlight the lens clarity, particularly on the very top as you move around. There's absolutely no softening, no blurring of the image in those sort of edge areas, which you can sometimes see with poorer manufactured panoramic lenses, but obviously the Immervision lens basically highlights the standard of manufacturing in terms of giving wall-to-wall clarity in the image. So we can click on each one of these and move around and set each one as we might want. Totally sort of flexible, each one can be wherever you need it to be. So there's one there highlighting our Hikvision training sign there. There's also lots of other options, full panoramic views, which you can click on and take full usage of. As you can see there, we've got a full front and full back panoramic image from the fisheye. We've also got a full and back stitched together option there, or image right the way through to the other side in one large panoramic field of view. So various options there which you can take advantage of. So if we now click on the configuration option, we can look at some of the data statistic counting options that we've got with this camera, which can be used in a lot of potentially retail environments, but other environments potentially as well, as and when needed. So this, in order to use the statistic counting options, you do need the actual camera to be set on a ceiling mount scenario, which can be selected on the top here. So you've got table mount, you've got wall mount, and then you've got ceiling mount. So make sure that's set to ceiling mount to take advantage of the statistic counting. You also need an SD card to be fitted to the unit as well, which we've already taken care of with this particular unit. If we click on the storage option there, an SD card already fitted, ready to go. So the first one we'll look at is the people counting option. So this allows us to count people entering and exiting an actual area. It would be very good for monitoring how many people have entered and exited a building or an establishment, a nightclub with a maximum capacity, for example, or a museum with a maximum capacity. You can keep an eye on who's entering and who's exiting. Again, retail use, if you want to see how many people are entering or exiting an area in a shop or the shop as a whole, you could set one of these up. So first thing to do is obviously enable the people count and statistic option. You can then draw a box on the screen, which is the area which you want to monitor. Now the box is the counting area as such. How the Deepinview Fisheye works is it's looking for somebody to enter this box, cross the detection line and then exit the box to constitute a count. Any loiterers who might walk into the box but don't fulfill the full requirements, i.e. crossing the line and exiting the box, will be classed as a loiterer as such and won't form part of the counting statistics, the overall statistics. So if we set our line within the box, obviously a good place to have it is bang smack in the middle, and that way somebody be classed as a genuine counting statistic would have to enter the box, cross that line and exit the other side. We save that there. These options down the left allow you to draw your line, draw your area, obviously clear the areas, and also clear your count statistics, which you can see up in the corner here. There's also a direction option, which basically chooses the enter and leave position or direction, which for somebody entering and exiting, so you can set that direction there, the direction someone would be entering, and then obviously exiting in the opposite direction. On the top we've got a data uploading option. You can set yourself for real-time data upload. That is obviously the statistics being uploaded from the actual camera. There's also a cycle there, frequency cycling, which does that, so obviously I'll set that to the lowest possible option there. And under the advanced we've got the ability to reset our counting overlay statistics, which are seen on the screen, and we can also choose to have the statistics visible for enter, leave, one or the other, or for none, so you can obviously see on the screen top corner what's actually happening, what it's actually counting, and what it's actually counting as an enter or a leave. So once we've got that set up, that's pretty much ready to go. It will take some time to build the statistics up, so we'll come back to this later on and look at some of the how you interrogate the statistics from the camera direct and also from some of the back-end VMSs. But if I just get up and walk through the zone, what you should see is it actually, when I enter the zone, it should map me and put a little box over my head to tell me that it's actually picked me up. So I'm going to get up now, just walk through the zone. So what you should have seen there is, as mentioned, you should have seen it map me on both occasions as I entered the box in one direction and then in the other, and that constitutes an actual sort of genuine mapping of me and what I'm doing in that area. Obviously, just because it's mapping me doesn't mean it's counting me. I have to physically cross the yellow line and obviously exit the other side to constitute a full count. So that's your people counting. Like I said, we'll come back to the statistics interrogating later on. I'm just going to turn that off so that the VCA info doesn't affect our other data statistic options. So if we move down to heat map configuration next, which is generally an option that allows you to monitor the full area or partial areas of the fisheye for activity, human or dwell time activity within a period of time. So it's good for retail environments if you want to see what parts of your shop are popular and what parts aren't. The heat map, as we'll see later in the video, shows a hot and cold colour map, so you can see where the cold areas are and where the hot areas are within the actual image or the detected area. So we've got, obviously, first of all, the option to enable the heat map. There's various options at the bottom in terms of being able to set your heat map area up. If we clear the current one, what we can do is we can select all, which basically selects the whole fisheye as an active area. That, you know, would generally be a quick way of setting your actual heat map area up. We can also choose to draw our own physical area, which we can do through points around the fisheye field of view. Obviously any area you leave blank will be emitted from the active area. So there's a typical area there in the middle of the screen. Obviously all of this area here is emitted from the heat map statistics, so it wouldn't be obviously part of the counting area. We can also, if we select all again and save that, min and max size basically tells the camera what the minimum and maximum size object it should be looking at, or person it should be looking at, or what constitutes a person within the actual field of view. But we can actually, if we wanted to, select the whole area and then click on the shield region option at the top. The shield region option will allow us to draw an area that we choose not to be part of the map. So again, if you wanted to use the whole fisheye as an active area, then just choose a shield region area as seen there. You can do that as well as part of setting up, configuring your sort of active areas in the actual fisheye. We've also got a few settings on the right hand side. There's a validity setting, which is basically how sensitive the camera is in terms of detecting whether it is a person or not in the field of view. If you knock that validity scale down, the camera will become less fussy in what it perceives to be a person. If you whack the scale all the way up to the top to 100%, then it pretty much has to constitute what it perceives to be a person at its most sensitive setting. There's also a dwell time and heat map of people and a dwell time setting. So again, it's two different types of data. One is the amount of time what it perceives to be a person would dwell in an area, and the other is the actual, obviously, the mapping of people, or congestion of people in an area as well. So there's two options there which you can select also. We'll save that. And as I said previously with people counting, we'll come back to the heat map and we'll show you how to interrogate the statistics from camera front end and also back end VMSs later on in this video. And the last option, which is quite a clever feature that's been added with the new Deepinview units, is intersection analysis option, which again could be a lot of use in retail environments. If big apartment stores that have multiple pathways that cross each other could come at an intersection point, which could have, see on the screen we can see 4, but you could have many more paths that on directions you could take in very, very large or busy stores. You can have hexagon or your polygon section, which might have 5 or 8 different directions you could take. So basically what this will do is it'll count how many people enter through a given aisle, which are obviously are lettered A, B, C, D on the screens you can see at the moment. Obviously that would go up if there was more areas, but you can choose to count how many people enter a certain area and which area they exit. Gives you an idea of what areas of the store or shop might be more populated than the other, which direction most of the sort of shoppers are taking when they route past that area of the store within the field of view of the fisheye. So we can enable intersection analysis at the top, and we can draw our area here, so that we can choose that to be, like I said earlier, whatever shape we need it to be to fulfill the intersection area. A basic square looks something like that, which we've already seen on the screen. Obviously you've got A, B, C, D, but you could choose to have a more complex shape if the intersection obviously dictated that's what it needed to be. So if we go up here like that, and now as you can see we've got a lot more arrows on the screen. We've got up to G, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All of those paths will now be mapped for people entering and which route they exit. So we can do a statistic search later on which will show you, that shows how many people enter A, but which directions they take, and how many people would choose to exit through F, and how many people choose to exit through D. So you get to see exactly what people are doing in the shopping area over a period of time. So that's the intersection analysis setup and configuring. So I'll just set this up for our demonstration again, which we'll put in as a basic square since our training room's only quite small. Save that. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to, obviously it does take time to build the statistics up and have some traffic go through there, so me and the rest of the guys are going to obviously get busy in this room, create some heat map information, also some people counting and intersection information, and then we'll come back later on in this video and show you how to interrogate the statistic various back-end VMS and also from the web front end of this camera as well. So bye for now, and we'll see you soon. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some of the ways in which you can interrogate the counting statistics from the fisheye camera. You can do that from the web front end, also do it from the back end VMS, IVMS 4200 and also HIC Central. So first of all we'll take a look interrogating through the web front end of the camera itself. So if we click on the application tab at the top of the screen, this will take us through to a page where we can select which statistic we want to look at and then also view a report. You can see across the top we've got people counting statistics, heat map and intersection analysis report. So people counting, we've got the options down the left there to create a report over a period of a day, a week, monthly report or an annual report. So for the purpose of this test, if we keep it on daily report, we've also got people entered and people exited and also the date in which you want to conduct the search. So if we choose November the 29th, that's a day I know that we had activity in our training room. And if I select the counting option, you can see there between 12 and 1 we had 12 people counted as entering the counting zone. Between 1 and 2 we had 4 people, and between 2 and 3 we had 6 people. But also you can see there that you've got options there for every hour of the day in list form. You can also change the way that the statistics are viewed at the top there. You can create a bar chart or an actual line chart. You can also go back and choose the people exited option. Again, submit the actual statistic search for people who have exited the count zone through given time throughout that day. The next option we've got is the Heatmap Statistics, which we can click on here. Again, you've got the same options for the actual report. Again, if we choose daily, there's 2 options in which you can create the heat map. One is for dwell time, which is the time people are actually loitering in certain areas of the screen, and the other is for the actual people passing through the zone as well, obviously tracking of actual humans passing through. So if we leave it on dwell time and choose an actual day again, if I choose the 29th of November and do a counting search for that, you can see there we've got varying colours on the screen. The colour scheme at the bottom tells us the cooler colours are for low activity and the hotter colours are for more activity or more active areas within the screen. So we can see there we've got obviously yellow, we've got a few areas of red where there's been a higher number of loitering. If we move it to heat map of people and redo the search, you can see there we've got a more defined area of where people have passed through. This heat map was actually generated by somebody actually doing a walk test through the counting zone. So you can see that the heat maps picked up a person moving, passing through, walking more frequently than somebody actually stood still and loitering in a certain area, which makes sense as the guy doing the test was constantly on the move. We've also got the intersection analysis report as well at the top. We can select, as seen earlier, the zones are set alphabetically, and we can choose which point in the defined area that we've created we want to search as the flow in, or the people entering, if you like. So if we leave it on A and do a daily report and click on counting, we can see there that across the bottom 2 people entered in A and left in A, 1 person entered in A and left in B, and obviously so on for C and D. So we can get an accurate representation of how many people have entered A and then what direction they've left in. As said earlier, this is very handy for retail environments if you want to see where the most popular parts of the store are, where people are actually entering and exiting, and where the main flow of traffic is throughout an actual shopping environment. That's a very good sort of statistical test you can do for that. So if we now take a look at the same statistic tests or statistic searches through IVMS 4200, click on your little dashboard, your control panel tile option there at the top, and click on report. We can then see our Fisheye live view there, which is in our training academy. We've got the similar search options here, obviously heat map. Again, we can select our fisheye camera, and we've got the same options at the top, the report type, the statistic type, which is dwell time or people number, and also the search date. So if I choose the 29th of November, do another generator, you should see something similar to previous, which again, as you can see, it's a more defined area of people passing through the area as our guy was doing the walk tests, similar to the search results we got on the web front end. We've also got the dwell time search there as well. We can do people counting from IVMS 4200 as well. Select the fisheye option at the bottom. Statistics types there is set there. The search date, so we can again choose the 29th, and we've also got the option there obviously for how frequent we want the report to be. Do a search. We can see we've got a bar chart showing there. If you put your mouse pointer over it, it actually tells you there that the number of people entering are 12 there. We've also got 4 people throughout that hour again, which pretty much showing us the same statistics that we've seen on the web front end. You can also change that at the top to a more of a line style graph again, which tells us there again the amount of people entering through that particular hour or hours period of time. And we've also got the intersection analysis on IVMS 4200. Looks very similar to the web front end of the camera. Again, we choose our day in which we want to do the statistic. We choose our camera. It's a daily report. Again, at the bottom we can select people who've entered through A. This time if we select a different number, let's choose C. This will show us how many people have entered through C and exited through A. Obviously we've got 2 people there. 3 people have entered through C and exited through B, and obviously nobody entered C and left C or entered C and left D. So again, these statistics can obviously be very different to each other depending on where the main flow of traffic is. And you can also have more than 4 directions as well. For very big department stores, sometimes you can have a crossroads that might have 5, 6, 7 different directions in which you can go in. Basically you just draw your detection area as shown earlier around the intersection area that in question. And last but not least, if we just take a quick look at HikCentral, which is a licensed VMS, from the tile screens we see if we go to people analysis, we can select our fisheye camera there. We've got our options on the left hand side, so this is our the heat analysis option. people amount, which is the search that we did earlier, and again go to the 29th of November, click on the fisheye camera option here at the bottom and generate the report, and there we can see we've got a very similar heat map to as seen on the previous 4200 and also the web front end, which is people activity. If we click on dwell time and generate the report again, click on fisheye, generate the report, and we can see there we've got a full dwell time heat map. Obviously, as said earlier, cooler colours low dwell, warmer colours is at the high or higher levels where people have obviously loitered, dwelled. Again, you can see where in a retail environment more people may be spending more time browsing in certain areas of store, and less times obviously would be cooler colours. So again, very useful tool for that sort of environments. We've also got the people count at the top, which again we can select our fisheye camera daily report. 29th of November is the day in question where we did our walk tests. Generate the report, and we can see there we've got enter and exit together. If we move our mouse pointer along, it's actually showing us there one enter, no exit. This is where we've got quite a bit of activity, 15 entrances, 10 exits, and so on and so forth. So they have a good way of interrogating the statistic counting options within the fisheye camera across your VMS and also the web front end of the camera itself. For any further questions that you might have on the Immervision fisheye camera, don't hesitate to contact Dynamic CCTV's technical department or your account manager. Like I say, any inquiries that you might have on some of the more in-depth features, we're here and we're happy to answer for you. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.